Hey folks, today I'm going to be installing the Taco-Snorkle onto my 2024 KTM XCW. What I have here is the snorkel itself and then the new fuel pump that's going to go in there and connect to this. This is to transfer fuel, and I'll show you how that all works here in just a second. But right now we'll start by removing the seat and accessing the fuel. So with the seat off, we can disconnect the fuel pump here from right there, and then you take the new connection, which has a gator clips on the end of it, plug it in to your pump there. These are going to connect to your positive and negative. Then it comes with the hose, so you just undo your quick connect, release, run your hose down to your gas tank that you're going to run it in. We'll go ahead and connect this up, and then it will start to drain my fuel. Put this side on here, and then we'll just hold the positive side on. Starts running the pump, and then we can see, if I can get my hand on it, we're just draining fuel. The fuel pump's running. Pretty sure you can see that. Oh, missing. Back you up a little bit. And then you can see we're just draining fuel. So you want to get your fuel down, just down below your fuel pump, so that when you take it out, you're not dripping all over the place. So we're just gonna let that run for a little while. This is a great tool to have if you're out in the backcountry and one of your friends runs low on gas. You can transfer some fuel over to his bike. It works out great that way. All right, I'm gonna let this run for a little bit and we'll be right back. All right, we got our line out. I've drained the fuel out of the gas tank over there, and first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna remove the magnets from the bottom of the fuel lines. Then we have our low fuel sensor right here. We got to decide how low we want it. Usually a hand width is good. 4 to 5 inches from the bottom of the where it picks it up is about right where you want it, and that's your low fuel sensor. It's about right there. And then we're going to take the supplied zip ties. We're going to put one on the bottom and one on the top, and so it won't move. So I'll be right back after I do that. All right, so next we need to remove your fuel hose from your pump. This clamp here is just pinch tight, and so if you can get a small screwdriver in there and kind of wiggle it back and forth, be very careful. You don't want to break this. I've got some wire cutters here, and I'm just kind of putting them in here and grabbing it, and then slowly just working it back and pulling it towards me to get it off. Let's see if I can do both here. Just kind of wiggling it very carefully back and forth, slowly pushing the hose back until it comes off. They do and give you a new clamps in your kit, so you can reuse these, or you can just remove it. All right, and then we're going to take a small wrench, looks like a 6mm, and we're going to remove the fuel pump. Okay, with your 4 bolts removed, you can then, with a little finagling, kind of see where your fuel pump sits and just kind of work it out. And that's it. Your stock pump is now out. Want to make sure we clean up this edge nice and good. Get it perfectly clean for the new fuel pump to go in. Okay, so after you make sure that you're all cleaned up around here, you're going to feed your fuel lines in. You want the longer line with the sensor to go to the left side and the shorter line to go to the right side. And it's pretty self-explanatory, but you can see up inside there, just kind of push it around, get it going in the right way, and they'll just kind of figure it out, go in there. magnets make it a little hard sticking to everything, but okay. Stop right there. We'll just kind of fit right up inside there. Then you can take your fuel pump and connect your fuel lever wires fuel level wires. Feed that all inside there, and you're gonna hold that up to the side and get your fuel pump going in, and it will just fall right in there. So we're gonna let it sit there for just a second. We're gonna put some on this side here. We're gonna put some silicone in here, and then it will help it slide onto our pump. So before you put it on, you want to make sure your hose clamp is on the hose. It's always important. Be careful, don't drop it in there. Then you're going to take your silicone. You want silicone inside to help get on, as well as on the outside, just kind of a little bit there. Rub it all around. Then we'll use needle nose pliers and we'll get it on the fuel pump. So we're going to hold the hose with the needle nose pliers, and then we're just going to work it right onto the fuel pump. It goes on nice and easy. Super simple. Slid right on there. Then we can take our clamp, push it up to where it needs to be, turn it so that we can get it to where we can pinch it and where we can get it off later if we need to. So you want to be up towards the top of your hose where it's going to connect to where it's going to hold on to that nipple, and then you got your pinch tool. You're just going to grab a hold of it and give it a little squeeze, and that right there is going to hold it on. You can check to make sure it's not going to come off, and then you can turn it so that you can see. That'll help you get it off later if you ever want to take it apart. Then this will just work its way back down a little bit, right into got the hose underneath it there. It just sits right down in there. It doesn't take much to get it down. Make sure that everything looks okay. Sits right in there, and then we'll take our screws, put our screws back on. We'll put a little silicone on here and a hose clamp. We'll put that on, and then this just plugs into here. Okay, now with our bolts on, we're ready to put our last hose on, so we'll put some silicone again right inside. Helps us get it on. And then we have our hose clamp. They have two different types of hose clamps. This one has a bolt on it. I'm going to use that just so in case I need to remove this at all, it'll be a lot easier than trying to pry that off. So I'm going to go with the bolt on this side. So we'll put that on. Your hose first, and work your hose up on. Easy peasy. And I just don't want it to really, it's hard to decide where to sit this one. But you just tighten it down. Doesn't have to be super tight. Just tight enough that it's not going to come off, right? All right. Then we can connect our fuel line. Decide where that's going to end up sitting. It's a little bit longer there, more wires. You might have to decide where you want to keep that.